The food is handled, the water is covered, the flashlights work, and the batteries are fresh. By every standard preparation checklist, you're ready. Then day 2 arrives and the gaps start showing. Not in survival, in function. You can't shower. The hand soap is running low and there is no replacement. The trash is piling up with no collection in sight. Someone in the household needs a product that was not on any list you followed, and the store where you would normally buy it is not operating. These are not emergencies. They are erosions. Small, compounding, daily degradations in the basic systems that keep a household clean, healthy, and psychologically stable. Every person who has lived through a multi-day disruption says the same thing afterward. It was not the food that broke us. It was not the water. It was the hygiene. 9 items that cost almost nothing and change everything about how your household endures what comes next. When running water is limited or gone, this is the item that replaces it for the functions that matter most. Baby wipes are not a baby product in a disruption. They are a water substitute. Body cleaning without a shower, hand cleaning without a sink, surface wiping without a spray bottle, diaper changes without a running faucet. A single large pack covers a household for days of basic hygiene across all of those functions. Multiple packs cover weeks. Most non-parent households do not stock them at all. That gap opens the moment running water becomes unreliable, and by then the shelf is already clearing. Parents and healthcare workers reach for them immediately in any disruption. Institutional buyers take priority in the supply chain. What is left on the retail shelf disappears within hours in any documented demand event. A large pack costs $3 to $8. Shelf life is 1 to 2 years sealed. They take up about the same space as a box of tissues. For the weight, the cost, and the range of functions covered, nothing else on this list matches the versatility of this single item. When water stops flowing, this is what stands between your household and the most basic hygiene failures. Stock at least 3 packs. Know where they are? You watched this one disappear in real time. The lesson most people took from it was temporary. The vulnerability it exposed is permanent. Hand sanitizer at 60% or higher alcohol concentration kills the majority of bacteria and many viruses on contact. It is the field expedient replacement for hand washing when water access is compromised. Not a supplement, a replacement. When there is no running water to wash with, this is the only thing standing between your hands and every surface they have touched since the last time you could actually use a sink. In early 2020, hand sanitizer went from fully stocked to unavailable nationwide within days. Manufacturing did not stop. Distribution did not fail. Demand synchronized across every household in the country in the same compressed window. Once shelves cleared, secondary market prices spiked 5 to 10 times. The $3 bottle became a $30 bottle overnight for anyone who could find one at all. The pattern is not historical. It is structural. Any health-related headline, any contamination event, any disruption that makes people think about what their hands are touching will produce the same clearance at the same speed. The $3 window and the $30 window are separated by about 48 hours of public attention. Small bottles for personal carry, large pump bottles for household stations at the kitchen counter, the bathroom, and the front entryway. Total cost at normal prices, $6 to $12. The preparation window is right now, not when the next headline breaks. This item is on the list because what happened in 2020 was not an anomaly. It was a preview. Toilet paper is a high-bulk, low-unit value product. Stores stock limited quantities relative to consumption because it takes up disproportionate shelf space. The retail replenishment system is calibrated for steady, predictable daily purchasing. When that pattern breaks, when a few million households decide to buy an extra package in the same 72-hour window, the system does not bend. It empties. Manufacturing never stopped. Trucks kept moving. The gap between empty shelf and restocked shelf still stretched to days. In some areas, weeks. The discomfort of going without toilet paper for consecutive days is real, persistent, and genuinely demoralizing. Not dangerous. Degrading. It affects mood, routine, and the psychological stability of everyone in the household in ways that are disproportionate to the simplicity of the product itself. A few extra packages bought on a normal shopping trip. Stored dry, rotated naturally through regular use. That's the entire preparation. The moment you think you should grab extra is the moment the window has already closed. At that point, you are not acting ahead of the crowd. You are the crowd. This pattern will repeat. The only variable is the trigger. These two items get skipped for different reasons. Both reasons are wrong. Menstrual products are a biological necessity for roughly half the population. Pads, tampons, and menstrual cups. There is no safe improvised alternative. There is no dignified workaround. A household that stockpiles food, water, batteries, and medical supplies, but ignores this category has a gap that will create a genuine crisis for anyone in the home who menstruates. It is not an oversight that can be managed later. It is a need that arrives on its own schedule, regardless of what is happening outside. Menstrual products clear shelves alongside toilet paper during demand spikes. Same behavioral cascade, lower visibility, fewer people talking about it, same empty shelf. Toothbrushes and toothpaste occupy the other end of the same blind spot. Dental hygiene prevents oral infection, and oral infection compounds rapidly without treatment. A minor cavity or gum issue that would normally be a dentist appointment becomes a serious pain and infection source within days of neglect. Under disruption, dental care is unavailable. The toothbrush and toothpaste you already own are the only line of defense. Both categories are cheap, compact, and shelf-stable for years. Total cost for months of supply across both is under $15. The reason they are skipped is not cost or complexity. It is the assumption that they will always be available. That assumption is the vulnerability. Day 1 is uncomfortable. Day 3 is a health risk. The dividing line between the two is soap. Bar soap is the single most weight-efficient, shelf-stable, multi-purpose hygiene product available. Body washing, hand washing, dishwashing, spot laundry, cleaning around a wound site. One product, one bar. No dispenser, no container, no electricity required. Liquid soap and body wash are convenience formats. They use more water per unit, more packaging, and deplete faster. A bar of soap outlasts its liquid equivalent by a significant margin. It takes up less space, and it works without any supporting infrastructure. Under disruption, that efficiency gap becomes the difference between having soap for a week and having soap for a month. The function is not cosmetic. Soap is the most basic infection prevention tool that exists. It breaks down the lipid membranes that protect bacteria and viruses on skin. Without it, every hand-to-mouth contact, every meal preparation, every wound that gets touched becomes a disease transmission opportunity. Skin infections, gastrointestinal illness from contaminated hands, wound infections that would not have occurred with basic cleaning. All of them preventable. All of them compounding across consecutive days without soap. A multi-pack of bar soap costs $3 to $6 and lasts a household for weeks. It does not expire in any meaningful time frame. It works without water in combination with the wipes from earlier on this list. If this has been useful so far, A-like helps it reach people who could actually use it. Let's keep going. Nobody thinks about waste management until the truck stops coming, and when it stops, the consequences start compounding within days, not weeks. Heavy-duty trash bags are the most versatile item related to hygiene for each dollar you spend. They contain waste when collection halts, serve as improvised toilet liners when plumbing fails, protect supplies stored outside from rain, and isolate contaminated materials from the rest of the household. A single box of heavy-duty bags costs a few dollars and covers more disruption scenarios than products 5 times the price. When waste sits uncontained for consecutive days, the cascade is predictable. Odor comes first. Insects appear within hours. Bacterial growth accelerates across every surface the waste contacts. In a household with limited water for cleaning, that cascade moves from unpleasant to genuinely hazardous faster than most people expect. Nitrile gloves handle every task that sits between you and direct contact with something you should not be touching. Waste, contaminated surfaces, open wounds, cleaning tasks that would otherwise require thorough hand washing, tasks you may not be able to do. They cost under $10 for a box of 100. That is 100 barriers between your skin and the tasks that disruption forces you to manage by hand. Together, these two items replace the sanitation infrastructure that normally operates invisibly. Collection trucks, plumbing, drainage systems. When that infrastructure stops, someone in the household has to replace its function manually. These are the manual replacements. Combined cost is under $15. The cost of skipping them is measured in health risk that compounds every single day they are absent. The last item on this list costs under $4, and it handles the jobs that everything else here cannot. Unscented household bleach at standard concentration contains 5.25% to 8.25% sodium hypochlorite. Water disinfectant, surface sanitizer, laundry disinfectant, mold killer, waste treatment agent. One bottle covers the heaviest sanitation demands a household faces during a disruption. 8 drops per gallon of clear water makes it safe to drink. That ratio has been established and used for decades. A spray solution of bleach and water sanitizes countertops, cutting surfaces, and bathroom fixtures at a level soap alone cannot reach. Added to a laundry wash, it disinfects clothing and bedding that have been exposed to illness or contamination. Poured into waste containment, it suppresses bacterial growth and reduces odor. Bleach is the backstop behind every other item on this list. The water you clean with, the surfaces you eat on, the clothes you wear, the waste you contain. When soap isn't enough and the situation demands true sanitization, this is what closes the gap. One limitation that matters: bleach degrades. Effective potency drops after approximately 6 to 12 months. The bottle you bought 2 years ago may no longer work at the concentration you need. Date the bottle when you buy it. Rotate your stock. Unscented only. No additives, no fragrances, no splashless formulas. Standard concentration. 1 gallon handles weeks of household sanitation needs, under $4. The most capability per dollar of anything on this list. Every person who has lived through a multi-day disruption says the same thing. It was not the food, it was not the water, it was the hygiene. The slow compounding loss of the basic ability to keep themselves and their household clean, dignified, and functional across consecutive days. Food and water are survival. Hygiene is sustainability. The difference determines whether a household endures a disruption or deteriorates through it. 9 items. Total cost under $50. All available right now. All shelf-stable. All among the first categories to clear when demand synchronizes. Hygiene does not fail dramatically. It erodes. Each day without these items makes the next day worse. Skin breaks down. Infection risk climbs. Morale drops. Routine collapses. The compounding is slow, invisible, and by the time it is obvious, the window to fix it has closed. Preparation guides that skip this category are not incomplete. They are missing the section that determines whether everything else they recommend actually works across consecutive days of real disruption. Which of these 9 items are in your house right now, and which one are you adding this week? Drop it in the comments.